Hello and a very warm welcome to my channel. If you're new to my channel, welcome. And if you're not and you're returning, thank you. Please do hit the like if you do like my video at the end. And if you're new to my channel, please do find that I have lots of other playlists, including music, if that's what you prefer. I have many videos around spiritual, after having a spiritual awakening, after living in a women's refuge. So today I'm going to do this video about living in a women's refuge and what it's like inside, how it feels, so anyway, I lived in a women's refuge as I'd fell victim to being treated and being abused in relationships. I decided, right, that was enough for me. I needed to make that transition. So that's what I did. So this is a little bit about my story. And I'm doing this really hoping that this will help others in that same situation as that I was in, living in a refuge, right? So I've made a few notes, so please bear with me. So I know for me it felt like I was in prison. You go through one door, coded door, and then you go through to sign. Then you sign your name and the time you came in, and if you're going away at the weekend, you have to sign yourself. You have to ask for permission so they're aware of it, and then you have to sign yourself out and put where you're going and leave a contact number, so that if anything happened to you while you was out, they knew who. Do you understand? Anyway, so I made the most of this time, and I really spent a lot of my time really working on myself. And I was studying the internet, and I was looking for answers. I'd been in these controlling relationships that always ended up with the police being called, not an ending like, oh, I don't love you anymore, that's it. It would get toxic. So I had to take a good hard look at that, and I wanted to know why it had happened, because it wasn't the first time it had happened to me. So I did a pattern changing course, which was amazing. And I even took things with me, which was really handy. I took with me a rocker chair, a little wicker rocker chair. I had a car at the time, so I thought, right, I'll load my car and I want to make this room comfortable. I took extra duvets. I'll come back to the house, I shouldn't have done. I took extra duvets and I took pillows and blah, blah, blah. So I made it cozy, and I made it livable, and I made it safer, and made it feel more like home, because I was really homesick. I was missing my normal lifestyle, my daughters, my life, my family, everything. Everything was hitting. It was hitting everything. So I made the most of it, but when I was there, I didn't spend time in groups with the others, because I was a single person. I wasn't a young mother. I didn't have young children with me. I felt that I didn't really have that much in common with them. So I spent time aside on my own and just really connected with what was going on. I learned what narcissistic is. I learned what sociopaths are. I learned all the things that we need to know, all the things that we should be looking out for, all the red flags. I was missing all the red flags. I wasn't even looking at the person's face and seeing the anger inside them, which I can do that. I can see it, but yeah, I would still suppress that and hope that it would be okay, and it never was. So I reached out to Women's Aid, and Women's Aid was so amazing. The lady said to me, you can phone any time you like, even if you're just having an argument with your bloke, just phone, because we're here 24/7 and we're twiddling our thumbs, so make the most of the service. So I thought that was good. So obviously it was documented. So then later on in my life, things, it happened again, different relationship, and I'd so had enough of it, and I was so distraught and so run down and so unworthy of myself. I hit rock bottom. I had no money, no job. I was away from my family. I felt so isolated, and I'd never done it. been this isolated before. But I know that I learned who I was, and I suppressed that for many, many years of being who I am, if that makes sense. You know, I could be me, but I couldn't be me truly. That sounds really weird. I couldn't truly be myself after being knocked down so many times and criticized so many times. I couldn't do it anymore. So, my little list. They offered great support, and I would meet every Monday. Oh, hang on, I've missed a bit. Right, let me go back. So we'd have to do cleaning after, we'd have to take it in turns to clean our area. So there was 2 levels and 4 families and two rooms on each floor, which is a single room. So I was obviously in a single room. I didn't need children's bits. Anyway, I also bought candles. You know the candles that you can put batteries in? These little candles that you just put your batteries in and you switch them on. Perfect. They were absolutely perfect. Sorry. Hold on. I was advised first off when I first got there is to not make friends, not tell people anything about me, and to keep myself to myself, which I thought was a bit weird, and I didn't really understand that because I always took people for who they were and I didn't judge, but I was soon found out what they meant. So keep yourself to yourself, definitely. So I made friends with one person, but it caused me so much drama, and I don't like drama, so I ended up leaving there, you know. But people were coming out, women were going and sleeping with each other, and you could hear them in the bathrooms together, and I suppose it's just like prison because you're in such solitude that you either go one way or the other. And me, I stayed the same way, but I just became awakened to all the sides of me that I was not aware of and where it was coming from. I found some of the girls there really narcissistic and very manipulative, so I chose to, boom, stay away from them. And they didn't really like it, they couldn't understand it, but I just done my own thing. And when I wanted to go and have a coffee and a smoke, I'd go next door into the car park and sit and hide in the corner and listen to music, and that was fine. A pair of headphones worked great for me because I lived in them. And if I wanted to go and use the kitchen and put the kettle on, and knowing that you were sharing it, I should have really put a kettle in my room, but I didn't. But what I used to do is I used to get a flask and make myself a flask. I didn't have to keep going in there, a flask of water or whatever. The group works were brilliant. I'm losing the video. There we go. Doing group work was really, really interesting and really good, really helpful. And you learn a lot about yourself in reflections of everybody else, because when everybody's speaking in the group in turn, you pick up on things that may have happened to you, and it's answered a question for you. So group work's really, really good, even though it feels terrifying at the time. It's really worth it. I swear by Women's Aid. If you're in trouble in a relationship and you need help, just phone Women's Aid. It's a free phone number, I believe. There's a website, it shows you everything on there, and it helped me, and I'm sure it'll help you. Coming back to my house, I think, was the hardest thing. I come back and there was no electric, there was no heating. So soon I got everything switched back on, and I changed my whole house completely, revamped it all, changed the garden, revamped it all, and I got rid of everything and every part of anybody that was in my house, and made it my own. And I hope this has helped somebody out there. I'm sure it will. think you need to accept that you're in a toxic relationship and find a way of getting away from it. And I know it's hard, and I know they reel you back in again, but the abuse will just get worse. So that's what I can say about that. Anyway, so treating yourself whilst you're there was another good idea for me. I treated myself. I'm sorry. I treated myself as much as I could, buying new clothes, a lot, and finding a new identity. I had hidden who I really was for a very long time because I'd been knocked down. So now I was feeling it was okay to wear chunky boots and to dress up and be who I really was and express myself, which I hadn't done for a long, long time because I was always answering to somebody and like answering, why are you wearing that? Or what are you dressed up for? Do you know what I mean? It tires you out. It does. I think coming out and coming home had to be the most traumatic thing because I felt so lost. I felt so lost, so vulnerable. I fell into a stupid relationship straight away. It lasted 5 months and it wasn't worth it. It really wasn't worth it. Bear with me. I also had my parrot that was in like a little refuge of himself, and the lady that had been looking after him had just had a heart failure, so I had to get out of the refuge quite quick and save my bird. Bless him. Found him in this shed. He's been in there for 3 days. 3 days, and there was these big parrots and macaws and all sorts flying around in this cage or in this shed. And Ziggy was on the floor in a cage, tucked in the corner, petrified. When he saw me, he was so pleased. And we had such an amazing reunion. I think after that and getting my house straight, it's taken me 3 years. It's taken me 3 years, and I've been single 3 years. And it's the best thing I ever did. And I totally and utterly recommend, if you're in trouble, is picking up that phone, saving some money, putting money aside, making plans, telling people, open up to your friends, tell them you're in trouble, but you can't get out of it just yet. If they understand, then they're your true friends. So you find out who your true friends are. That's another thing. And being in the garden, you know, they had a nice big garden. It was all enclosed. It was all very locked up. Felt very safe. There was a panic alarm that went off one day, one evening, and it was going off about 9 o'clock at night, and it was so loud. And yet no one was running to the door, do you know what I mean, saying, what's wrong, what's wrong? But it was soon sorted. I really hope this helps somebody out there. I was looking for information regarding this for such a long time. I couldn't understand it. I really couldn't understand it. If you like my channel, if you like my video, please come back by hitting the little subscribe button and the notification bell, because that will show you when I release my videos, you will get a little notification so you won't miss out. Anyway, love, light and peace to you. Thanks for listening.